Content of this meeting is, now being sent. See, it was saying prepared to be sent. Well, good morning. Well, it's not morning. And no, yes, it is. I can still say good morning. Everyone, my name is Sheila Karuna. Welcome to SassySeerSheila. Today is Thursday, August the 7th, 2025. And let me just see if I can pull you guys up here. There we go. This video is unavailable. Wait a minute. Why is that? Is it live or is it not live? It's telling me that the video is unavailable. Well, let me just get out of there and try again. Maybe it's not actually live. It says it is. There it is. Okay. Okay. I don't know when it actually went live, but very interesting. In case it didn't get on there. Oh, I know it will be. Oh, I didn't hit record. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do that. This will be seen on New Light Streaming Love as well, but it will definitely be, if you're looking at this on New Light Streaming Love, it is a replay. I am not live. I'm live on SassySeerSheila today. And if you're not subscribed in both places, I highly recommend that you do so. My collaborative partner, Crystal, has really been on fire over there on New Light Streaming Love. She is really hitting it, man. I'm telling you, I love what she's doing over there. So you might want to go over and make sure you're subscribed over there as well. I'll make sure that, oh, wow. Okay. I just did a recording of some of Jason's work, and this is meant to be an update of why you haven't seen me for a few days. Well, I guess really it's been more than a week, actually. And I have been doing a little bit of recording, but I haven't put it out yet because I was very busy doing some other things. Part of that has to do with those of you who are here or will see this later who have been following Jason Gray's writings. If you have not been made aware, there's been an update of what's going on with him, in that he is no longer affiliated with the Ancient Order of the Hermetics group on Facebook, which is where I found him and where I'm sure many of you found him as well. There may be a few of you that found his writings through me, but most of you, I think, came to me from his writings. At any rate, the point of the matter is he's no longer affiliated with that group. You are more than welcome to follow his personal Facebook page, which there will be a link to that in the Show More section here, as well as I'm going to be changing the link that I have in the description box of the playlist that is on the channel here, because I had linked the Ancient Order of the Hermetics group in that description box of the playlist, but now that he's no longer there, I will be changing that. Of course, you're always welcome to follow me on Facebook. I really don't post very much on Facebook. Honestly, and you're always encouraged to subscribe here. This channel, SassySeerSheila, will never be monetized. We'll never take any ad revenue, None of that sort of thing, because that's not what any of this is about for me. It never was. I didn't sign up to be an influencer and all the other shenanigans you see going on out there. That's not my gig. Um, all of this has always been about my own personal evolutionary growth. My quest for getting to the truth of who I am, who humanity, who I suspect all of us actually are. And yes, for quite some time, I thought most of us were broken, and we were. I love the way Jason puts it. We're actually not broken. In the last 2 years, my own internal guidance has been telling me that if I had to label my life prior to all of this as a series of mistakes and brokenness and all of that sort of thing, okay, whatever. You're allowed to label it whatever you want to label it. But in truth, it all served. And I know that with all of me now. No matter what hardship, and trust me, there's been a lot of hardship and abuse, physical, sexual, mental, verbal, all sorts of that in my life. So it's not exactly like I've had some cushy, comfy way to go, as we all have those sorts of stories. Every single one of us on the planet, nobody got left out. We've all had our share of trauma installation as we were programmed and conditioned along the way. Every single being on this planet, bar none, has been programmed and conditioned in some way or another since the time you step foot outside the womb, and most of the time, the whole time you were in the womb, you were being programmed and conditioned as well. And we could turn around and try to look at somebody that we want to blame if we want to. But in truth, I don't think there's any point in that. And it certainly doesn't serve. And for me, I also now, at this point in my life, I'll be 64 in October. And I know with all of me, that it all has served. Every single thing that I've gone through in my life served me in ways that to turn around now and complain about it would be so disingenuous of me. To pretend that people that I've loved in my life are less than because of anything, even those who abused me served the all in ways that I think some of us are more targeted than others. But yes, this is a realm of trauma and suffering. It's designed that way. However, it's woken me up. I'm grateful for it all. Well, I love that, Miss S. Let me just say, I don't know that it's designed that way, and it really doesn't matter to me anymore, to be honest with you. I'll tell you why I say it that way. Because had any one of those things that I went through been different, I would be different now. And you can't prove it by me, but I have this sneaking suspicion that everything actually happens all at once. And the only reason that we experience time is in this realm, in these bodies, that we actually are all one. Oh, my goodness. Knowing without knowing. I love it. I love doing these readings because it just, at any rate, I really do feel like that. The only thing that separates us from the all is the time in these vessels, and I feel as though that is for the experiences of it. I cannot unsee the progression of things during my time in this vessel. I cannot unsee by finally following all of my nudges right to a T how things are unfolding for me personally. By becoming a very close observer and puzzle piece collector in my own life, it's not lost on me how these things are going. It's been my guidance that I don't edit, so I don't even know how to edit these videos that I put out. I see the wisdom in that now because I used to think, well, you're just lazy. That's all that is. But no, no, it's because that's what real life is like, man. There's no editing life. Oh, well, no worries, love. Thank you so much. Well, I hope that you'll come back and pick up where you left off later and see what transpires here. Oh, before you go, let me just say to you that I have been assured that Jason will be having a conversation with me very soon. Now, I'm not certain which channel we'll be having that live on, so you might want to make sure to be subscribed in both places. New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila. In truth, we did our first conversation live here. It's really New Light Streaming Love's turn for a live with Jason. So we might have to do it over there. At any rate. Oh, wow. I could swear we just had this the other day. The last live I did, I could swear this card came out because of the spiral in the middle of the hand. I know it doesn't show it very easily on camera. Let me see. Nope, it's not going to. But there is trust me, there's a spiral in the middle of that hand. Oh, wow. That's so interesting to me that that would come out again. Hmm. Land, flower, star. At any rate, I know that there's a couple of you who have requested a blueprint from me, and I did get some completed and emailed out. And again, that's not something I charge for either. If I do something for you and you would like to share something with me, there is a way. And if you desire that, always let me know, and I'm happy to share. But it's not required in any way, shape, or form because that's what I was talking about. It's not the very moment it from my observation of the spiritual community and is that the very moment something works for a being, now they've got a way to monetize it. I get it. Nobody wants to work for the man because, but it's not the man really, it's the money. I don't know who decided that we are the only species that has to pay for where we live. Y'all understand that, right? That's a method of domination and control. Now, I really believe that at some point we are going to get over that. I know that a lot of folks don't think we could survive without it. But in truth, I don't see how it is that we're surviving with it, to be honest with you. Why do you think they all want us to own nothing and be happy? Because they want to own it all. They think they do, actually. That's part of the problem. Falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy. That's kind of interesting that that would come out. We'll have to see what that's about. Oh, Teresa, welcome, honey. How are you? So, at any rate, if you are not already following Jason on his own Facebook page, be sure to go over there and click the following. I did not friend him. You'll not find me as his friend, only because I would rather just be notified when he's updating things. That's too much trouble to have to be worrying about all that. I have a lot of followers on my Facebook rather than friends, because my Facebook is open publicly, and you're perfectly welcome to do that. But I don't really, very rarely do I post anything. Um, so there's that. I'd much rather you subscribe over here. At some point, I'm really hoping that, you know, that there'll be a better way to do all of this. I don't even know what I'm speaking on there, um, connection wise. Um, I had toyed around with the idea of having a club at one point, asking for dues and things like that, so that, because honestly, at some point, this laptop's going to have to be replaced. Let's see, it's 8 years old, and there's been a few times where there's been an issue with it, but so far so good. It's holding out. The fawn came out. Oh, and that's interesting. I already had a fairy that came out and I kept going. That's really interesting. Just mindlessly doing stuff over here. Okay. So the very first card that came out was Surrender to Trust. And remember, I was sharing with you that my own inner guidance for the last couple of years was asking me to relax into myself, to stop worrying so much about where am I? What am I doing wrong? How do I, what's my purpose? What do I need to do next? How do I fix me? Because, oh my God, there's so much wrong with me. And I was asked to surrender to myself, just relax into myself. And the fact that I was sharing that with you when this card came out, surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. And in truth, you are the only expert for you. You're the only one. And I'm speaking to myself. I might as well be looking in a mirror right here. You're the only one that's been in there this entire time. You're the only being that has been front and center present for your entire life. That feeling of wishing somebody would understand you. Couldn't somebody just, can I just have one body to relate to? I finally realized that was me begging me for my own attention. Why don't you understand yourself, girlfriend? Why don't you be okay with understanding who you are all on your own? Why do we need somebody out here? What's that about? Because I never ever got comfortable with who I am. Hell, I didn't know who I was. I was just telling that. Jason called me this morning, and I've been real busy trying to make sure I could secure as much of his work as possible. And I will just say to you like this. I I was so busy trying to fit in and be somebody I'm not. I never got the chance to know who I was, to get to know myself. What do I like and don't like? I mean, not really. I never took the time to do any of that. Who am I? What do I want to do? Not what anybody else thinks I should do. That's one of the reasons why I always say move towards that which brings you joy in each moment. Therein lies your purpose. That's how I figured this out. That's why I'm doing this. Because this right here, what I'm doing, 12-year-old Sheila in front of her mirror in her bedroom, basically is what this is, brings me joy, helps me more than anything I've ever done in my life. Ever. Bar none. And that's what this means to me. Trusting ourselves. Now, I get it. That's a tall order. And I now know and see why we don't trust ourselves. Because we're taught from the time we're eensy beensy little ones not to trust ourselves. Oh, don't do that. Can't do that. No, no. You'll understand when you're older. We don't mean to do that to our children, but we do it nonetheless. We've done this to each other for eons, by the way. So there's nobody to blame, really. It's just a thing that has happened. But we can finally see it and cut everybody else some slack as we now know this, right? Because there's another little thing that we don't do is cut each other some slack. I'm gonna just say. I have to tell you that coming to the knowledge that every living being on this planet, every human on this planet has been traumatized while programming and conditioning was installed. I saw it. I saw what it looks like. I saw how innocent it happens without anybody ever seeing it. It's not, the trauma is not, when you say the word trauma, everybody thinks of blood and guts and gore and horrific abuse and verbal abuse and all these kinds of things. But that's not all there is. Trauma is installed when a child becomes disillusioned by what they thought they were doing correctly. When they displease a parent or their cognitive thinking in one way gets interrupted. Wait a minute, I was just saying what I saw, and you're telling me that that's not real? That is how that happens. That's just the first little crack in our armor. And it's on from there. It just continues on from there. You see, we come into this world knowing without knowing. In my view, we come in knowing. Children are the closest thing to the God frequency, way closer than we are. And we think we have to teach them because they don't know anything. Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. They know it all. We start supplanting the BS that we were supplanted, that we got planted in us. Oh, trust me, my child is 40 something years old, and I can see the damage I did with the programming and conditioning that I installed. Oh my God, can I ever? Now, of course, he thinks I did a really good job. He's a good guy, don't get me wrong. He's a really good guy. But that programming and conditioning, it's there. Big time, is it there? So this card is knowing without knowing. Sometimes the heart knows in a way that the concrete mind and memory cannot. We feel something that we cannot quite express. Perhaps others are quick to dismiss it as meaningless whimsy or irrationality. Yet that feeling beyond the mind's capacity to fully perceive is the ancient truth of your greater self reaching through time and space to connect with you, like a phone line extending from a more ancient place in the world. You can hear it crackle, perhaps, not the clearest reception, yet you can also sense the love traveling along that telephone line. The things that you feel and that do not appear to make sense are the things to trust most now. You are being guided by a force far greater than your own mind. An ancient divine brilliance is reaching to you, communicating with you. You may not hear or understand it with clarity as yet, but you can feel it. Trust what you feel. This oracle speaks to you of the opening up of your higher mind, the part of your intelligence that can dialogue directly with the forces of divine guidance and creation. These forces use symbols, abstract communications through dreams and visions, through impulses that circumvent your conscious mind and have words streaming out of your mouth or flowing through your mind that you have not created of your own volition. I've discovered that the universe actually uses everything in my surroundings to communicate to me if I just but pay attention. If I just get still and relax into myself enough, right? Someone speaks to you and you respond with words that you feel you are hearing for the first time as they pour out of your mouth. Whose words are these, you wonder? It is your ancient self that speaks. Trust the strange and mysterious at this time. It is another way, an ancient way of wisdom that you are tapping into now. Enjoy this new sacred connection unfolding. This oracle is also confirmation that you have relationships around you now and continuing to come to you that are from times long past, karmic connections that will take you further on your journey of love. I do feel like that's a true statement. There are many of you who have reached out. Well, I won't say many because, that sounds like a whole bunch of people and it's not been. But there have been a few of you that have reached out that I've actually met with that I just feel that we've known each other in times past and that there are things, okay, I'm going to say it like this, things to do together. Don't ask me what. That's what happened with Crystal Hemphill when I first met her. I didn't know it, but I think Lisa knew it when she and I met, that there were things to do, right? Again, I trust that I'm going to know what I need to know in the exact moment I need to know it. I used to get all kind of freaked out because I don't know this, that, or the other, and that I have to prepare for it and whatever, but that's all old programming and conditioning right there. Having to know the purpose is, I see it now very much the same as asking somebody who just graduated high school and just graduated having to raise their hand to go to the bathroom. Now they got to know what they want to do with the rest of their life. I mean, I'm sorry. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, to be honest with you. Once you look at it like that, you cannot unsee that. I don't know, 5 minutes ago, you had to raise your hand to be able to leave the room to go to the bathroom. And now you got to know what college you want to go to, what career you want to be in. Isn't it the weirdest game we play on this planet? So, yeah, none of that has to be. We do not have to. That's all so much silliness. Um, and I feel as though, um, like I said, there are several of you. Miss Teresa, you are one of them. I don't know if you pronounce your name Teresa or Teresa. Um, but I feel as though there's, and I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but um, I got the same feel when we met as I did with Lisa and with Crystal. So I know, and I now know that it will show itself over time. Okay, so from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Now this is very interesting to me because this one is Falling Angel. This card number 19, which is a one numerologically, and for me that's usually the I am presence, right? To me, it is, oh, wait a minute, and that makes so much sense why they chose this. I wonder if that played into it. You see, 0 for me is the all that is, and 1 is the first separation, if you will. The 0 being actually more the question or the statement I am, and the 1 being am I, so to speak, right? So the minute I realized that and said, oh, falling angel, well, of course. And spiritual narcolepsy, let's see what this has to say about that. Falling unconscious. You are being cautioned now not to fall asleep or go unconscious. You've been flying above the strife and suffering of the world in angelic bliss. However, you risk being seduced by the beauty and comfort of your situation and losing track of your aspirations, your wings. As you fall, you pick up speed, heading toward the trees below and a possible nasty landing. Remember that all you need do to stop being a falling angel is spread your wings to halt your descent and then find an updraft again. Do not be seduced by the fallen angels, your supposed friends and companions who are ready to use you for their pleasure and have only their interests in mind. As you soar once more in flight, receive the gift of the falling angel as an invitation to study the forest from above the trees. In other words, to analyze your situation from a higher perspective without being entangled in its thorny branches. Once you understand what needs to be done, head back to your lofty heights and stand by for the right moment. Action you take now may backfire. Stay conscious and wait until you are guided to change. You will know when the time is ripe. That's really very interesting. In that, I'm not quite sure what to make of this card for myself, as it really doesn't fit anything that I know of. However, I will definitely sit with it. Now, it could be too that this card was pulled for someone who was, because I've noticed that too. That's happened a lot of times. These readings are meant to be for me, but also if someone's drawn here, there may be something there for them as well. And there's always the possibility. Okay, now I'm being flashed something that I've been moving through here on my own that this definitely will more than likely relate to. Interesting. Okay, let's see what the fairies have to say, because I what I find so interesting about these two cards, because I didn't mean to pull two cards, it just happened. It's almost as though I went totally unconscious and pulled two cards. Card number 15, which is the Journeyman. I always view Oginus as very much like the Fool card in the tarot. And that is pretty much what he looks like, right? The Fool card, getting ready to step off into the unknown. He's just getting ready to. He's just So the key words for this card are adventure, independence, polishing of skills, and travel. All of the great ones, the saints, the bodhisattvas, and all of those who are filled by the spiritual light have been on this journey. They went into the wilderness, stepping like fools off of the safe paths into the waiting hands of their gods and goddesses. This is the journey of life, a pilgrimage that begins in ignorant trust, passes through all of the doubts, fears, ups and downs, probably all of the delusions, and certainly all of the confusions. Through it, we learn slowly, painfully, a new kind of trust, a trust in the process, detached from the goal. Our young Oginus journeyman, bless him, is stepping out on the journey of life, positively glowing with enthusiasm. Even his toes sparkle. Bright, handsome, and educated, he has completed his apprenticeship in fairy crafts and magics, but he has not yet achieved true mastery of his trade. To accomplish this, he must leave the protection of his master and step out onto his path as an independent journeyman craftsman. He is testing himself and his knowledge in the world. He hopes to eventually achieve the status of master maker. Right now, he knows a lot of facts, has all the basic skills, but probably knows less than he thinks he does. He is about to learn about the skills of survival, bartering, persuading, selling, buying wisely, enjoying life, making friends. At least he doesn't need to learn how to iron his own shirts. Ojanus still has lovely, playful, childlike qualities. An Oracle Online group member notes that Ojanus is playing balance the ball on a stick with the moon, and adds that he seems to have no constraints, sets no boundaries on what he can do. And because he is magical and doesn't set such limitations on himself, he is able to walk on air or water or through the hills, all with the moon nicely balanced both on his stick and in the sky. Our young Ojanus must learn to care for himself. No one is looking over his shoulder to see that he does his work right and eats properly. Ojanus may take chances and even make mistakes sometimes, as we all do, but this is how we learn. He is now confronting and being confronted by the real world. Here, he will discover that, that excuses don't buy bread, and that the quality and integrity of one's work and actions are what counts. But he has been well taught and pretty well knows this already. Don't tell him I told you, but Ojanus sometimes wears a false mustache, hoping that it makes him look more mature. He has romantic dreams of being a great hero, of becoming the supreme master of his craft, and of winning a fairy princess. Some of these dreams will come true, perhaps even all of them. Here we see an innocent being walking trustfully into a situation for which he is not fully prepared, and indeed cannot be fully prepared, or for which his preparation is as yet untested by reality. He is innocent of previous practical experience of the path he is now treading, or the realm of life into which he is moving. This card could be called Innocent Encounters Reality, which is by no means a bad thing. His fairy godmother is lurking somewhere just out of his sight, as fairy godmothers tend to do. Her expression is both gleeful and worried. Her hair is already whiter than it was before he began, and she is keeping her wand fully charged at all times. Although this is his journey, and he must undertake it himself, almost everyone needs and is given a little fairy godmothering from time to time. Good-natured innocence attracts fairy guardians. It attracts helpful beings on all planes and in all worlds. It may also attract those who would abuse that innocence. But as long as our intentions are good, our guardians will offer good guidance. We are blessed and cared for if we allow ourselves to be. The world is before Ojanus with smiles and teeth. Ojanus has optimism, cheerfulness, magic skills, and a diligent fairy godmother. Ojanus grows within us when we step bravely into the unknown, developing our potentials with hope and optimism and an open heart. Adventure, independence, travel a long path ahead, we hope. This card speaks to the need to perfect skills in working and living, but it acknowledges having a sound grounding in the basics. Optimistic, innocent, and willing to learn. Ojanus also shows us that intuition serves us well, but only if we pay attention to it. Sometimes we are operating from theory alone, and our knowledge may or may not be well grounded in reality. This card does not necessarily refer exclusively to beginnings. It can also signify a progression along a path, moving into the unknown from the known, a new phase in an ongoing process. The card Yeah. Okay. Hmm. That's very specific, and I'm certain that that is. Yeah. I'm being shown something that's taking place in my life, and the fact that it is an unknown uh happening. Right. There's so and no telling where it will lead. Uh This card does not necessarily refer exclusively to beginnings. It can also signify a progression along a path into the unknown from the known, a new phase in an ongoing process. The card may also represent untested concepts or ideas and suggests a need for balance between the intuitive and the rational as one approaches the unknown. Consider where you are going. What are your long term goals? What are you doing that is helping you to move toward them? Well, see, that's what I think I'm being flashed about, what I'm being shown here. Hmm. Yeah, this is card number 15. That is a six numerologically. That's all about balance, love, harmony for me. So that's very interesting in and of itself. Now, the next card that came out that I mindlessly, I might add, oh, very interesting. And it just opened, the book just opened immediately to where the card was. So this must be the big mamma jamma of the day, the fawn. Ooh, and in truth, when I said earlier that we are the only species that has to pay to live on this planet, I was flashed a deer in my head. So that's very interesting. Hmm. Understanding the nature of nature. These are key phrases with this card. Natural wisdom, natural magic. The merry, irrepressible fawn, dancing in the garden, frolicking in the woods, playing in the meadows, sings out, "Come dance with me." It is he who knows the secrets of nature. He knows where the robin's nestlings are hidden, where the mice lurk, who lives down that rabbit burrow, and where the pixies like to dance. He teaches us to understand, appreciate, and express the part of ourselves that dances in the moonlight with the fairies, sings to the dawn stars with the birds, and hums with the blossoming flowers. This is also the part of us that plants seeds with a loving pat that says, "Bless you and grow," and provides healing energy for doing just that. No fuss, no bother, just intention and natural human magic. Natural magic is simple. We are all full of it. I think that's true too. We don't recognize it in ourselves enough, in my view. That's one of the things that ever since I started on this path in earnest, that I no longer keep to myself either. When I'm in public and I notice magic, oh, I share it to anybody and everybody around me. Oh, did you notice that? Oh, you pulled that right out of his head, didn't you? Just making folks aware of that magic is absolutely the funnest part about all of this. For me, anyway, And yeah, so what? They look at me like, oh yeah, that lady's crazy. What do I care? They used to look at me because I was the heaviest girl in the room. Who cares? I honestly, I now know that part of my life was exactly what it had to be, so that I'd be okay with people looking at me, because by golly, I'm here. You might as well. If you're looking at me, you're leaving somebody else alone. That's kind of the way I decided about my life a long time ago. Natural magic is simple, and we are all full of it. And the more we are true to our own nature, the more we have access to our own magic. I believe that's true too. When we are caught up in believing in limitations imposed by ourselves or our culture, we inhibit the flow of energy, which is the melody of ecstasis song of the cosmos as it sweeps through us. Ecstasis is the cosmos card in this deck. Opening ourselves back up to that song can be a long and complex business once we have closed down in some way. And I really do feel like that's what this has been for me in many ways. That quest to get to the truth of who I am, right, is very much that. It requires a great deal of thought and self observation, and perhaps also the help of others in the form of formal therapy or simple friendship. However, the process of opening is made easier and more gentle if we allow Mama Nature and her own natural magic to help. Spending time in our gardens, our parks, our forests, and open spaces helps us to reconnect. But so does growing herbs and flowers and scented geraniums in pots on our windowsills. So does looking at the stars, observing the state of the sky, and listening to the wind. It helps if we simply observe the natural processes and changes around us. Mama Nature is always up to something. No natural place is the same for 2 moments in a row. Life is about process, not stasis. We are processes, not things. We constantly change, even when we resist, even when we think we are stuck. Come with me, sings the fawn, tugging our hand. It certainly is futile to struggle against the flow of the universe, so we might as well dance with him. Stuckness is an illusion. The fawn says, dance with me and it will all come right. And do you know he's right? At least many of the blocks in ourselves and our lives will come right much more quickly if we reconnect with him, opening our hearts to him and Mama Nature. They too are filled with magic, just like us. Even more so, as they are not in denial of their magic. Natural magic is happening when things flow almost effortlessly. That is a sign that natural magic is at work. Enjoy it. A very important part of natural magic is simply allowing the energy to flow through us. This means both giving and receiving freely. Let the energy flow. Don't push it. Don't try to control it. Just dance with it. Trust it. And remember to keep returning to the source for inspiration and to keep your heart filled with light. I think that might be the biggest reason why I feel like, because just the minute, if I was to try to put a dollar amount on stuff that I do for people, it would then be a job, and I don't want to do that. And it puts up barriers between folks. Again, that's a function of what it is for me, and I I've seen an awful lot of stuff where, also folks tend to then have to protect what they put out with everything of them, because that's their livelihood. Now that's how they earn money, right? I'm just noticing for myself, that's not something I want to partake of. I have no desire to be a part of that. Honestly, I think pretty soon here, it's just not even going to matter. As soon as everybody gets the message about what money actually is intrinsically, it's a method of domination and control. It's class warfare. It's not required. I don't think it's required. And I think more people will come to know that. Okay, land flower star. Land flower star. This one's from the Alchemy Elementals. And flower star. I can't get over the fact that I'm pretty sure, I'm going to go back and look at the very last live that I did. This card came out, and I had just recorded some of Jason's work about the spiral. The soul of spring has come for you. Doesn't matter what the calendar says, your life is in bloom, my dear. Celebrate. Just as the flowers awaken to the warmth of the sun's proximity, so too is your heart blossoming now. This is an expansive moment in your earth walk. There is a mirth and a lightness emanating from your spirit that is drawing others near. They sense your majesty and are drawn to the fragrant energy you are giving off. There is nothing you can do to hide your radiance, so allow yourself to bask in the attention and enjoy it. You are blooming, babe. Let people smell your petals and admire your blossoms. You are an inspiration to so many in this moment. Well, that's quite lovely, isn't it? And if you were drawn here in these moments of now, there was something in this reading for you as well. Even if it wasn't the whole reading, there will be something, at least something, in this reading for you as well. Wow. Well, that's it for the reading. I will say that I don't know, again, I'm not sure as to exactly when, although I warned Jason, he's got to give me more than 15 minutes notice when we're going to have another conscious conversation. If you are interested in having a conscious conversation with me that we can record and share, if you have any topic that you want to chat about, doesn't matter what it is, send it to me in an email, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com, and let me know in the body of the email that you want to have a conversation that we can record and share, and you want to have it on this topic. And it can be a very loosely, whether it's a question you have for me or it's something you just want to chat about. If you have something you want to share with everybody, you've had a dream. I love doing I used to do a segment on the channel called Dream Space, because I suspect that the dream space is way more than we have any knowledge of what it actually is. Because the life force within us does not require rest, only the body. And so if you have dreams that you want to talk about, you have, doesn't matter what it is. But I ask that you would give me at least 3 days and times that would work best for you. Please make sure to include your time zone, as I'm in the Eastern time zone, and we'll get that put together. Um, MD Shaheen Alam, welcome. Appreciate the energy check in and your grounded presence. Oh, thank you. Your intuitive shares always something unexpected and deeply reflected. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well for showing up. I appreciate everyone's presence that visits the channel. And because like I said, I don't share these around. They're not sponsored. It's not monetized. It doesn't really make a difference if you subscribe or, I mean, I like it because I know that that folks are hearing me, but it's not required in any sort of way. I do know that I'll tell you, I saw it happen in real time. Um, for whatever the reason, and I don't know why, YouTube sought, because I'd just like to know how it works, that you can go from 900 views down to 700 views. What do people come back and say, oh, I'm going to take that back? How does that even happen? I think that there's some kind of game afoot to dissuade me, to make me feel badly about things. It's like I'll give up, and because I only have 300 subscribers as well, right? And I've been doing this a while now, but again, it doesn't matter to me, you see. But I think that it's a frequency game that's being played, if you ask me. Jason would say in regards to flame, right? So I already know, because this has happened to me twice before. This is my third YouTube channel, because I never even got over 2,000 subscribers in my first one, Conscious Conversation Central. I got up to 2,000 subscribers and they took that channel down. Karuna Rising only got up to about 500 and some subscribers, and it was taken down. And they never even told me what I did wrong. I never said words you weren't supposed to say. I wasn't talking about things you're not supposed to talk about. And yet it was just taken down. And so I don't know. That's very interesting what happens, and the reasons why it happens. So I don't know, but at any rate, thank you for saying that, MD. I appreciate you so much. And I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. One final thing too. Yeah. If you haven't seen my video about the Celestine prophecy, if you want to join us for my upcoming book club, I had put that tomorrow was going to be the last day. I'm going to start this book club on Monday, September the 1st. If you want to join that book club, right now it's looking like it's going to be daytime hours. But I said that if we had enough people, I would be willing to do 2 different book clubs for the same book. I just love the idea of reading that series of books together. That's the way it works. It's not a very long video. Go and look at it if you want. If you feel drawn, you would like to be a part of that book club, and then follow the instructions there. And until we meet again, my friends, be well. Mwah.